To the Community Voice, I'm Steve Gradick, your host. It's another beautiful Monday. Thank you for being with us, and we thank our sponsors, Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy. Very pleased and honored to have in studio this morning the Dean of the Ingram Library at the University of West Georgia, Blynne Olivieri Parker. And good morning.
Good morning, Steve. Thanks so much for having me on the radio this morning.
Well, I'm very pleased to have you here. A little short bio. You're the Dean of Ingram Library and a Professor. You've been at UWG since 2012. Blynne was a Senior Fellow at UCLA's Graduate School of Education and Information Studies in 2016, and UWG's Faculty Member of the Year in 2019. Her current research focus is the use of emerging technologies in the classroom to increase student competencies and learning. She holds a Master of Arts degree in art history with distinction from the University of Washington in 2007, and a Master of Library and Information Science, University of Washington, 2009. So again, welcome.
Thank you, Steve. I also have another master's that might have gotten lost in there.
Well, who's counting? 2 or 3? What's the third one?
That's also in art history from the University of Washington.
Okay, good. All right, well, good. Very good. The motivation for me, I know you were on 2 or 3 years ago with Josh, but and I'll kind of set it up this way, and we'll kind of move along. But and I mentioned to you, my grandmother used to live near Emory, and she was always going to something at Emory, and I always took that as, if the community is more involved in a university campus, then that relationship between the community and the college or the university is obviously a lot closer. And the community for decades has been supporting the university through the A-Day program. So it would seem that the resource of the Ingram Library should be a focal point of that relationship. So that's I want to kind of set the stage, but it would be, I think, remiss if we didn't kind of go back, and this was news to me. The origins of the Ingram Library go back as far as 1908, correct?
That's right. With Penelope Meltson, who was the wife of the first principal back when the University of West Georgia was the 4th District Agricultural and Mechanical School. And she started the library, which was then in Sanford Hall, by putting out a newspaper ad and asking for community members to donate books to found the first library. And Ingram Library in Special Collections still has that book collection.
No kidding.
Yeah, and it's very classic. It's like Gibbon's Fall of Rome and Herodotus, so very like Greek, Roman literature and philosophy.
And so basically the educational content of that era is much different than today.
Definitely.
What's your personal opinion? Do we not delving into the classics like we used to? Do we lose a lot or lose much?
I think we still have. The classics are sort of the underpinning of Western thought. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we've lost that, and there's still quite a bit of interest in that on campus. We even have a philosophy program. I just think that the topics that students are exploring in their academic disciplines has expanded dramatically.
So it became a college, West Georgia College, in what, 33?
1933.
Right, and so the first president was Irvin Ingram, correct?
Irving S. Ingram.
Wow. So the library was already established with Penelope's initiative but it became the Ingram Library sometime during that time, right?
Right. The library was named after Irving S. Ingram, who was the second principal of the 4th District A&M, and then he became the first college president when it was West Georgia College. And to honor his 30-plus years at the institution, they named the library after him when the building, now in the Quad, which was completed around 1968, that's the year that they dedicated it and named it in honor of Ingram.
And it's kind of interesting, our last two presidents have been here 4 years each, but these guys, I think it was Dr. Boyd and Ingram, they were there many decades. And Sethna, too, was there a long time.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Well, I think we've kind of set it up. So before we kind of delve into the collections, and we'll do that right after our first break. So we started out talking about the community is welcome at the Ingram Library, correct?
Absolutely. And I just want to say, Steve, the community is intrinsic to UWG's success and history.
We think so.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. From the founding of the first library, from the cornerstone of the first block on the first building of what was the 4th District A&M, the community members have been part and parcel of our university. And there's been a very close relationship because in 1933 and shortly thereafter, we started the teacher training program. So what was then West Georgia College started training all the local teachers, and that really helped found and expand education in Carroll County.
Yeah, and Colin did a story on that this morning about the growth of the education aspect of that. So if somebody from the community wants to learn more or become participatory with the Ingram Library, how should they go about it?
Well, any member of the community is welcome on our campus and in Ingram Library as well. So community members can get borrower's cards to the library and check out materials.
Really?
They can also access specialized resources that is different from the Galileo subscriptions that the public library has. At the university, we have more discipline-specific databases, whether that's nursing, business, etc., that can be accessed from our library. So community members can come in, check out books, locate kind of these specialized resources on our computers, and we're glad to have community members there.
Before we go to break, just, I always talk or relate it to radio. Radio's over. Everybody's on social media. Nobody listens to radio, but libraries like radio is still very relevant, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. From the beginning of libraries in time, civilizations have need access to information resources and experts to help guide them. And that mission endures. It's very different these days. We're teaching students how to use AI in their research to get the results that they need that are accurate and ethical use of AI. But the principles are really the same. We need to provide outstanding collections or information resources to students, and students need a caring guide to help them anywhere from crafting a research question to helping them find relevant resources and citing those resources.
But you never stop learning, so adults and even elderly people like myself are welcome, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and we're going to talk more with Blynne Olivieri Parker, Dean of the Ingram Library at the University of West Georgia, when we'll be back in just a moment.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop, seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Gredick, your host. We have the Dean of the Ingram Library on the campus of the University of West Georgia. Blynne Olivieri Parker is our guest. And before we dig into the collections, if you want to visit, if you want to participate, if you want to become familiar with Ingram Library, it's kind of suggested that you take a look at parking before you come.
Absolutely. I think parking is still the community's biggest concern, at least when I speak with community members. We have a parking system called AMP parking, and there's designated visitor AMP parking spots on campus.
Oh.
And you have to register your vehicle through that system. There is a placard at the front of that parking spot, and with a QR code, you register your vehicle. You get your first 30 minutes, I believe, free. But you can also call our parking office.
You have a parking office?
We have a parking office.
Wow.
Yes.
That's scary.
We want the community to come use the university to attend all of our cultural events, from theater to art shows to using the library resources.
So before we get into collections, if someone's a cynic, which I'm certainly not, you would think that students no longer need a library because all they got to do is pick up or continue looking or captivated by their cell phone. Is that true, or what's the role now with the library and a student?
Well, the library plays a very unique role on an academic campus. It is the intellectual and social hub. Libraries are central to a student's experience of campus because of what it is. It's the place they study. It's the place where they meet classmates to go over group work. It is a place where they can get help from a librarian, including we have 24/7 available librarian help to students. And it is the place where they can do it remotely as well, but access the information resources they need to complete their coursework or for their research projects.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's really a place of opportunity where they can choose to read, study, discuss and meet up with their friends, get a snack or coffee, and sit out looking out over the beautiful green expanse of Love Valley.
Love Valley. All right. Ingram Library has always been well known, I think, for its collections, exhibits, etc. Give us maybe the top three that get the most attention. Top three.
Well, let me back it up a little bit, Steve, because our resources today, I think a lot of people picture stacks with books, and that's still true. We still have stacks with books. Stacks of books are still important, but we also have so many electronic resources. So we have electronic books, and we have electronic journal content that students use for their coursework, as I mentioned. But we also have, very distinctive collections that make UWG very distinctive.
Can I tie those two together? Are all these collections now online, or are y'all transferring them into a digital format?
Well, for these distinctive collections, what we call special collections, a good portion of them are digitized, especially relating to university history, because that's what students and faculty for teaching and learning really seek out the most. But we also have really unique regional collections, and we've digitized portions of that. I'll tell you about a project Ingram Library is involved in right now, which is an interdisciplinary project in conjunction with the Muskogee Creek Nation. Is we're working on a Muskogee Ancestral Lands project, where we are looking at the history of the Muskogee people here, the history, culture, language, and we have our first grant to start building content for an educational website that takes into account Muskogee people's kind of family recollections about life and removal from these lands.
So are they local, regional, the Muskogee people?
The Muskogee people were all throughout Georgia and Alabama. And throughout time, through different treaties, the Creek people were continually pushed west.
Are they what normally or the average person just simply refers to as the Creeks?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is because an explorer came through and was like, oh, here, there's a lot of creeks.
Sure.
So we're going to name the people, the inhabitants, here as Creeks. And the Muskogee Nation also refers them to themselves, the members of that tribal nation, as Muskogee Creek people.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us some about some of the other collections and or exhibits.
Well, so I was kind of talking about our regional collections. We have genealogical materials, so family histories, family photographs, and like Jackson and Lovern family, very popularly used because there are so many family members still here. And, hand-drawn maps of Carroll County. We also have really interesting psychology collections and political papers.
Of course, I'm interested in the political papers, and I haven't seen it, but I understand y'all have a replica of the Thomas B. Murphy office.
That's right.
Yeah, I visited the Capitol 3 or 4 times when in the office, and it was amazing.
Yes, we have a near exact replica of Thomas B. Murphy's office when it was at the state capitol. And that is on the ground floor of our Ingram Library, and it is gorgeous. It is really a beautiful museum installation. Our library also holds his papers as well, which are well used and well loved. And the Murphy papers are fascinating because they tell the story of modern Georgia, how the economy was built, the expansion of infrastructure like highways, which made sort of the economic boom of Georgia possible.
He was the longest serving speaker of any Speaker of the House in the nation it may still hold, I don't know, but so there's a whole lot of history there.
Yeah.
For many decades.
That's right. And he was so well loved and well regarded.
Now you've got a couple of congressmen's papers in there too, correct?
That's right. We have the papers of Bob Barr and also the papers of Lynn Westmoreland, Matt Collins, and several others.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a pretty neat trick.
Yeah, and those papers are really well used because they tell the story of how legislation is shaped at the national level, what issues kind of rise to the front. And we also have the papers of local people who have served in the Georgia State Assembly. And that includes people like Judge Hamrick. And the papers of people like Tracy Stallings, who served in the Georgia Assembly, but also was a long time public relations staff member when it was West Georgia College.
Right, he was also mayor of Carrollton.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
I knew Tracy pretty well when I first came here. I understand from sources that you have some kind of interesting, a little bit off the rail kind of project exhibitions, Project Stargate.
Oh, this is the story, Steve. So our university has a really unusual psychology program that it's called kind of humanistic psychology, now known as transpersonal psychology, that looks at the whole human. And so the whole human experience can be varied, and it includes exceptional human experiences like near-death experiences. So the research collections that were built in Ingram Library's special collections were tailored to support that academic program. And we have the best, what's commonly called parapsychology, but it really surpasses just the field of psychology. So it's really kind of exploring human consciousness.
Okay, so what other unusual collections and exhibits do you have?
Those really are, that's the primary
That's the big
unusual
one. That's the big
collection
one.
that is used in documentaries and by external scholars. People fly in literally from all over the world to use those collections.
You mentioned in that, and I didn't really jump on it, but a lot of people are searching now, more so I think than previous decades, their genealogy, the family history as such. It sounds like y'all are a great resource for that.
Absolutely. And we partner with historical societies and genealogical societies to together try to provide the resources that people need. And so what you might not find in Ingram Library, I can help point you to Carroll County Courthouse if you're looking for land deeds, to Carroll County Genealogical Society, to Bowden Area Historical Society, and other places where people can, find the resources and the help to
I assume
understand.
all the libraries of the university system are connected somehow so that if you don't have a particular specialized piece of information, you can, zap on over to, Medical College of Georgia or whatever and make a connection there. Is that correct?
Yes. So we are part of the University System of Georgia libraries, including in a book sharing system where if a student requests something that is held in the library at Georgia State University, it gets delivered to UWG
Really?
and available to that student.
Do you have any kind of collection of like rare and really super valuable kind of materials, books, manuscripts, or anything?
Oh, yes. Going back to special collections, absolutely. We hold an early English Bible
Really?
that is an early example of the printing press, which is a fabulous item to teach with.
Yeah. Is it Tyndall Bible?
No. It actually was published during the reign of Queen Elizabeth.
Okay.
When English became a language that was
So it was
permissible
one of the first English translations of the Bible.
That's right.
From Latin into the
In Greek.
Wow.
Yes. Yes. And we also, one of the treasures that was donated by a community member is the first known map of Carroll County. It's hand-drawn, and that map was drawn after the surveys of Carroll County were conducted in the late 1820s. So this map probably dates around 1830.
Okay. Well, we're going to take another break. Thanks to Oak Mountain Academy and Tanner Health, and we'll be back with Blynne Olivieri Parker in a moment.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Gradick, your host. Delighted to have you with us. We would welcome you to take a look at we're on Facebook Live this morning, I believe. And if you have any questions or comments, you can post them there. Our guest this morning is Blynne Olivieri Parker, Dean of the Ingram Library at the University of West Georgia. If people want to learn more about the library or to, make that initial contact, what would you recommend?
Well, people can always visit our website, but also I welcome touring groups, community groups, civic and service clubs through Ingram Library so that they can learn a little bit more about it.
School kids, classes?
Absolutely.
Just the impression that you can make on middle schoolers or high schoolers just by going into a university library has got to be pretty enormous.
Yeah, it is. And especially starting with our special collections, seeing the primary source resources that are used by local students for history projects. I got to interrupt there. I mean, the primary sources, if you really want to know what the truth is, that's where you go, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just like, everybody should know that, because then you don't have any you make your own interpretation out of it.
That's right.
So you've got a lot of that available.
Yes, and seeing the Thomas B. Murphy office replica, and then on the main floor, seeing how busy it is. Mm-hmm. We have banks of computers that students use, as well as laptops that students can check out. We, like the public library, provide that technology so that if somebody doesn't have that technology themselves, we make computers available to them, including laptops that they can check out and even take home for the whole semester. So that technology part is a huge, important thing in student life. Our second floor has book stacks as well as group study rooms. And then our third floor is really quite a beautifully renovated collaborative space, and more group study rooms as well.
Y'all went through a big renovation. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago or something?
The big renovation was completed in 2012. And that...
Time passes.
Yes. That refreshed the ground floor and the main floor.
Yeah.
And then we just completed a renovation of our third floor.
Okay, so you got 3 floors. And but you would recommend getting that parking pass before you come, just for ease of access.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
And people can look at it's westgaw.edu/visit/visitors info. They should be able to navigate to the website.
You call it Westgaw. I call it West GA. Okay. .edu. Say it again. /what?
Visit,
and then another /?
Another /visitors.info, and that has information on parking.
I guess you've seen students and visitors really just kind of come alive when they walk into the library, and I guess you've seen some academic lives changed when they see that resource in the history.
Absolutely. A couple of Saturdays ago, we had over 470 people in Ingram Library on a Saturday for a high school showcase.
Crazy.
And these were high school juniors and seniors with their friends and family members touring through the library and visiting different tables from different academic areas. And students loved being in the library.
If it's okay, can you give out your email?
Yes, absolutely. And Steve, I'll just correct you on the pronunciation of my last name there.
Uh-oh. Well, Parker. No, okay. What is it?
Giving you a bad time, Steve.
No, that's fine.
It's Olivieri Parker. Olivieri.
Oh, I got you.
We're part of the olive tree branch.
Okay. Well,
like Laurence Olivier, but
okay.
on the Italian side.
Well, I'm learning something new. We're going to run out of time. Let's get that email out there, and we'll wrap it up.
It is BOLIVIER@westgaw.edu, and I welcome you to reach out to me.
All right. Again, thank you so much for coming in. Very interesting program. Congratulations on all that's going on in the Ingram Library, and thank you for listening. Go out and make it a great day. You're in tune to WLBB Carrollton.